We had our fairy garden challenge on June 1st, and I was really impressed by everyone joining in. And one of my new followers, gardening on Vancouver Island, did a beautiful little edible herb fairy garden for the challenge. Well, today Grandma did her version of an edible herb fairy garden in her yard. So I hope you go and watch what Grandma did. I hope you are going to enjoy it. I thought it turned out pretty cute. Now, anyone that would really like to join in and do a fairy garden this month, feel free to do it. The hashtag for this one is Fairy Month Challenge. You can put up anything you want, and if you want to challenge Grandma to see if she can do a fairy garden similar to yours, just put in the comment section, "I'm challenging you, Grandma. Let's see if you can do this." And if I have the items that are similar, I'll be more than happy to join in. Grandma's trying to keep all of her fairy gardens down to very low cost or free, since I'm trying to do 30 of them this month. That's a lot of fairy gardens, and that could cost a lot of money. But because Grandma has been doing fairy gardens for about 8 or 9 years now, she has a lot of things to put fairy gardens together. The only thing that I probably am going to have to spend money on is probably plants. That is a very expensive thing also. But I'm going to be building a lot more succulent gardens this year, and that means I'm going to take cuttings off of plants I already own and have, and that way it won't cost me anything. I do throw out a lot of flower seeds, so we will be also going and sharing areas that already have plants in them, and we will do something there. So keep coming back, and let's see if someone will challenge me. Come on, guys, let's give Grandma some challenges for her fairy gardens. Get her inspired to start making more fairy gardens. Well, I hope you enjoy what Grandma did for the edible herb fairy garden today. Hope you enjoy it. Also, don't forget to growing on Vancouver Island. Don't forget to go over and check this channel out. It's a small channel. She's just starting out, but it's a gardening channel. She has a great gardening channel. I'm really enjoying it. And of course, we're both fairy lovers and we're also garden lovers. So I think we're going to be best pals. So please go over and check out this channel. Isn't it an awesome channel? Look at all the beautiful flowers. And look at all the things she's found for fairy gardens. And she also likes to go thrifting. So guys, go over there. See what she's got on her channel and share the magic. She is doing a wonderful job on her channel. And give her some love. All the new channels need our love and support. Don't ever forget that. Well, I just cleaned out this container. It's pretty messy, and I think I need to rinse it out also. So we're going to do the best we can with what we have and make it into a beautiful fairy garden. Well, let's get busy and put this fairy garden together. Well, I've moved all my plants to this area now. I filled this container up with soil, and I've already got the soil thoroughly wet. We want the soil to be wet before we start planting, because you don't want to be planting your new plants in dry soil. And all the soil that these plants are in their little containers, I've already made sure it's thoroughly wet also. We want everyone to start out healthy and full of moisture. Now, let's get these plants put in the ground and see, well, not in the ground, in the container, and see how it's going to look. I always think it's a good idea, before we're actually going to be planting it, lay it out and see if you like how it's going to look. Because you may find you don't like it at all, what you're thinking. This is how I think I'm going to plant it. As you can see, I may put a little more soil into the back there to give those two center plants a little more height and give a little more room for the time, because those get pretty bushy. And I may move my chai a little bit closer to the front. But at least I think I like the way it's designed. This is just going to be for purposes of putting more color. I'm going to put my beautiful blue flowers behind all this. But this is just a temporary thing. They're not going to be planted there. I'm just doing it for a photo op. They're going more into the garden where they're going to be the star of this area. But I'll be planting them later in the week. So it's not what we're doing right now. Well, what do you think? How is it looking? Let me know. Okay, let's get busy. Start planting. I'm going to put a little more soil at the back. Well, we have all our plants in place now. As you can see, hopefully, that the back is taller with more soil. It's lower in the front, for I can put my little fairy accessories in here. Well, let's get busy and start putting together a little fairy garden. I carefully placed the salvia plants back here to give a little more color. They're not going to stay where they're at, just showing you a temporary measure. Well, we're all done with the fairy garden. What do you think? I thought it turned out pretty good, and this is my version of a fairy herb garden. I got all my herbs put in here, and I thought it turned out beautiful. I opened up my moss bags and put the moss all about. Thought it turned out really nice. What do you think? And believe it or not, this really was a free post. All the herbs were for my birthday from my husband, because he knew I wanted to get some new plants. The little fairy that you see, I've had her for quite a few years, and the same with the chair. The little basket of fresh eggs up for sale, I've had quite some time. The gnome was from a year or two ago. Gnomes, sweet gnomes, we all know how sweet the gnomes are. And the fairies and the gnomes get along so well. The farmhouse is probably 4 or 5 years old. I did buy this tree this year, but it's been used in multiple posts, so there's no cost for that. And all the moss is probably from last year, because like I said, when I'm done shooting this video, I'll carefully take all the moss out, and I won't be using it. It'll just be herbs. Because Grandma has to worry about cost. And this moss will probably end up going in another fairy garden in a few days. And of course, the blue salvia is just beautiful, isn't it? I loved it. And I apologize, I said the stems were purple. Those stems on the salvia are blue. And they are such a vibrant blue, just like the flowers. Well, let me know what you thought. I thought it looked beautiful. But I thought I would just place the salvias there because all the herbs are tiny. We'll come back and give this herb garden a check back in a couple of months. And we'll see, maybe we'll come back at the end of the month and see how much all the herbs have grown. I did leave them some space, and I didn't want to crowd them too much. What do you think? I hope you enjoyed how I built a herb fairy garden today. Now, if you're not already following us, please consider it. Give us a thumbs up, please. And we always love new family members. And any of you that love fairies, please come back for more. There's always more fairies in our channel. This is Fairy Month, so we know we are going to have plenty of things to see. We are going to be doing all kinds of wonderful, wonderful fairy gardens. Thank you so much for stopping by. Hugs and kisses from Grandma Sandy and Debbie. Glad you enjoyed the fairy garden today.